What's going on, guys? Yes, Fragile, side 2. This is 5% for Nothing, Bill Ruford. Okay, so I assume that we're going to go from this into Long Distance Runaround on this video. I assume. Because this is only a 35-second track. So I got them both up. I'll try and make the transition as quickly as possible, but I assume. So what does it say about this? It says Side 2 opens with Ruford's track 5% for Nothing. With a running time of 35 seconds, it is his first attempt at composition, but we've all got to start somewhere. Okay. According to Tate, its original title was Suddenly It's Wednesday, but it was changed in reference to Yes paying off their former manager, Roy Flynn, right, with the deal of 5% of future royalties. Like, that guy got future royalties, but Tony K got a one-time payout. That's jacked. And maybe that's on Tony K. He accepted it or whatever. But you know, we don't know the, or I don't know. I should say I don't know the specifics. Anyways, Yes performed the track live in 2014 and 2016 on tours that featured Fragile performed in its entirety. House said the secret to playing it successfully was to finish together. Okay. During rehearsals, he kept close track of the beat count and would cue the rest of the band to it by dropping his guitar's headstock. Even with that, it took considerable practice for all musicians to end on the same beat. Wow, geez, what does this sound like? Okay. And then, only because I assume we're going into it, Long Distance Runaround. Anderson's lyrics to Long Distance Runaround address the craziness of religion and how people are taught that Christianity is the only way, which he called a stupid doctrine. The lyrics to the second verse were inspired by the Kent State shootings in 1970. That was, a huge thing, obviously. And the U.S. government's crackdown on young people for criticizing the Vietnam War. Song segues after Howe plays a guitar run with an Echoplex delay effect into Squire's solo track, The Fish. Oh. Wow, weird. So maybe the better ones to do back-to-back are those two. Oh, man, I don't know what... I'm going to have to just go on the fly. I'm just going to have to go on the fly. I don't know what I'm going to do. It depends on how it sounds. If I'm going to end after 5% for Nothing, or if I'm going to go into Long Distance Runaround from there. All right, well, whatever. This is 5% for Nothing. It may just be that. Sounds like there's no transition, so it may just end. Right thing to do may be to just end it. All right, so here it is. Let's do it. Bam. Okay, that's not, all right, yeah, I'll end it right here. It got a little squirrely in the middle, but the ending part wasn't that bad. If you can get through the squirrely part, it wasn't that bad. It reminds me of, I played on, and it makes sense that this is a drummer. This is a drummer composition. Yeah, I played on this friend of mine's track. I played it, I think a couple of tracks on the album, but one in particular, it's like jazz fusion, the drummer led band, and it was one of the hardest tracks I've ever recorded. And I think part of the reason why was just in terms of timing and stuff like that. I think one of the reasons why was not everything was on the track when I recorded it, and that sometimes matters, where it's like, okay, I'm not hearing certain things or certain timing of different things, and it will be there, it's just not there yet. This goes down to like, a lot of times for recording bass, I actually like to record last. I heard that Marcus Miller does that. That's among the reasons why I just began to do that all the time. Obviously, if you're recording like live or any of those kinds of things, it's not like that. But just in terms of like, if I'm like producing something or a track or whatever, something like that, and it's a song, just doing the bass last. Because the bass, to me, is the glue to everything. Just everything. Everything else in the band. The bass is the glue. So that's the last element to me. That's the last element to put on. It's like, okay, here's all the parts, and then let's glue it together. Right? We're gluing it. That's the end. Right? Finished. So, yeah, it was really hard. You guys would probably actually like it. Actually, if you're into, it's jazz fusion. If you're into fusion stuff, any of this kind of like prog stuff, you'd probably be really into it. Yeah, 4D. Jody Giacello. Yeah, fantastic drummer. Okay, so there was that. That was a thing that they did, apparently. It was, it was fine. It was fine. Totally sounded like a drummer track. Absolutely sounded like a drummer track. Yeah, it felt a little squirrely in the middle, but the rest of it, you could follow. Like, it made sense, right? It's just rhythm stuff, right? It's like a rhythm twister. Again, sort of like an exercise, right? Sort of like an exercise, like a musical exercise. So there it is. All right, up next, and potentially segue, long distance runaround, and the fish. All right, I'll catch you then. Later.